So yeah, we can keep it going. We can keep the vice president sitting. We got to get this thing started. The Liberian people are waiting. So you can tune to Pram FM. You can listen to Spoon, Diamond is here, Emmanuel is here, and of course OKFM. And I know several other community radio stations and stations in Monrovia. I'm told will be relaying this edition of the show.
Cool FM as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So of course, so let's get started. Let me officially welcome the vice president. Say, the vice president, welcome to the state's broadcaster, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, and let me say good morning to all of you. It's good to be here. I've been here before, but it's been years now. I want to say good morning to our people in Radio Land and all those who on the sound of my voice this morning. Good morning, Liberia, and good morning to the president who stays on some assignments. Good morning to you, Mr. President. And good morning to my beloved wife and kids. And I'm happy to be here.
Great.
How does the president call you beyond my vice president or Mr. Vice President? Is there any particular name he call you?
He just said VP.
Oh, you can say VP. How is it like being the vice president? Prior to your roles as a representative rather than senator, respectively. Now you are the vice president. What do you do? Do you wake up in the mornings preparing for work? How do you relate between the people who visit your home, your offices? I mean, what do you do as the vice president?
I said to you, it's a tough job. What blessed me is I'm not this guy who normally used to go to, who normally play like that. Maybe want to walk to an entertainment place, sit there alone or so. Unless I see friends or so and bump into you. All my life, since I was 12 years old, I've been a struggling guy and no play. But this job is tough. I mean, your house, your office, it's difficult to visit your friends, people you grew up with. Most times I go to Ganta. I want to walk on the road to visit my friends. One time I tried, they will block the whole road and other people can't find ways to move and things. So you just forget it. So from your office to your house, I mean, that's all. And sometimes you don't know those people behind the wall unless somebody come and say to you, look, there's 1-2 % outside the frame. It is a tough space, but we thank God that we were prepared for it.
What do you like to do, during your leisure? I mean, you're human. Sometimes you be like, today I don't want no friends. It can be whosoever, maybe aside from the boss, the president. I just want to be alone today. What do you like to do? Movies, exercise? What is it?
So my thing is cooking.
Really, you cook?
Sure.
Do you cook well?
Wow.
Very well. Look, the way young people go to watch football games, I don't even know the teams. I hear my children say, "Bagay."
Because I wanted to ask you, your boss is an Arsenal fan. Don't you support any team?
No, my childhood, there wasn't play, so I didn't pay attention to these things. Imagine starting to live for by yourself from 12 years old to today. Every day was while we eating, how we survive. And so there was no time to play football. So my thing is cooking. I can cook from morning to night, and I'm happy with it.
Mr. Vice President, you said cooking is your favorite thing to do. What's the best soup you can prepare? Let Liberian
I mean, I thought it showed that cook.
Which soup?
You cook dry rice?
Anything.
These guys
And
don't cook.
Liberian food, I can cook.
These guys don't cook, so don't eat.
Food don't cook. Okay, Kelvin, we have to move on because time is fast. Mr. Vice President, your boss, His Excellency the President, has given you a lot of assignments in recent time. Whether it was doing the State of the Nation, he will mention the Vice President. Whether it was by an executive order, he will, get you to manage something. But firstly, I want to give all of us an overview of the business climate in the country before we can begin to ask specific questions. You've been holding a lot of meetings with business people, foreign and Liberian businesses. How, have you been managing these meetings? How they've been going? And what's the generality of the business climate?
Thank you again, Clarence. On July 26, I think of 2025, during the president's statement, he appointed a committee and asked me to chair that committee to look at pricings and look at the business climate and see how Liberians can fit in the market. Since then, we've been having different discussions. The Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Finance, and different agencies of government. Our market is complex and it's unfriendly to Liberians. Too many things we discovered. We concluded our first report on December 19, 2025, and submitted to the President. In that report, there were other recommendations to follow up on other issues. And so that's what we continue to do. Of late, we'll be looking at businesses that are set aside for Liberians. And so this one time I thought that, look, if you go to Ghana and other places, there are businesses set aside for citizens of the country. And so whatever we do on law to look at some of the businesses we set aside. And so we asked the Ministry of Commerce and other people to look at that. And then what we discovered was there's no need for the new law. There's already a law on it. The investment code of 2010, this law was passed in 2010. It's called Investment Act of 2010. In this law, there are, I think, 16 or 20 some more businesses set aside for that, exclusively. But these businesses are dominated by our foreign friends. Most of our foreign friends. And non-citizens from across our. When I say foreign friends, I'm talking about people from different continents. And when I talk about non-citizens, I'm talking about somebody from Ghana, from Nigeria, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire. Among them is the supply of sand mining should be exclusive of Liberian business. It should be for Liberian people. Block making, so the concrete blocks making, peddling, travel agency, and lots of them. But major among them is the distribution of all locally produced items in the country. That's a major one. And so we try to look at them to see all the factories in this country. What happened to them? Who are the distributors? Unfortunately, Clarence, you will realize maybe 1, 2, 3 Liberians are part of the distributor chain. All the distributors. Most of our foreign friends. And most of them are my friends. You know, I've been in the private sector. And so I know most of them. And so when we discovered, I started to support to some of them. And look, are you aware that you've been breaking our law? Take for instance, if you look at, if you take some of the big entities, you come to look at G5. G5 is the former Coca-Cola factory. The former Coca-Cola factory is one of the biggest producers of beverages. That company, if you find those who do the distribution, there's one company called 750 Enterprise. It's owned by a Lebanese firm. One of the major distributors. We got Aaron Brothers. It's an Indian firm, Indian entity, CNC Store.
You say Aram Brothers?
Yes, ARUM.
Okay.
Aaron Brothers. It's owned by an Indian. We got CNC Store. It's also owned by Indian. We got one like Beanie, with one big Delamu. I think they were from Hong Kong. It's only like distributed. We look at Lactam Distillery, it's another big entity that produces most of these Lactam products in the market. You got to see CNC, you got Mukesh, you got to see Aaron, you got from Guru. So all Indians in Lebanese, most of the factory, red gold. Some of them to the extent that they even open their own little business. I remember in Banga on the Broad Street, I don't know whether it's still there. There's a red gold store there. If you go to downtown, you go to have a store there. They should not be opening store. And that's why most Liberians who want to do business, it's difficult to enter the market. They don't even know how to enter the market. And the market is so complex and people have to protect it. It's been long. And that's why we have to break it out. So when we discover all of these things, we discussed it with the president. And the president said we should go ahead. And so we had a first meeting. In that meeting, there was a whole presentation as to how we go about it. Some of the things that came out in our meeting was there are a lot of Liberian fronting for these foreign people. Take for instance, use clothes. They won't go up enough left. If you go down Waterside, all the stores there are, most of the stores down Waterside are used clothes stores. That business is reserved for Liberians. Exclusively. No foreign person should get in. If you ask those people to give you their business registry, they will give you. Am I good?
Yes.
Thank you.
You are, yeah.
You will notice they are all Ummah Liberians. So our representatives, one time our only convenient comments, we invited them to say, look, this business is reserved for Liberians. Why are you doing it? And you'll notice everyone coming from with the article incorporation are Liberian. But that Liberian men who came to own our business, so now they met on their office, the first thing you want to do is give you food to eat first before you even start discussing. So people are fronting. Maybe somebody said, look, Clarence, I want to do the business, but if it's there for Liberian, I want to put it in you. Every month I'll give you $250. I'll pay your 2 children's school fee. And maybe I'll rent one day off for you for $75. And so there are a lot of people from some of the discussion we have was if you take it to court, it's difficult because the document proves that Clarence owned the business. What can we do to stop this? So we intend to go one step. We'll use the Liberian Business Registry, we'll use the Liberian Business Association, we'll work with them, work with LRA, immigration, and a whole team of people. What we intend to introduce is if any Liberian claim to own some of these businesses, these particular businesses, you should be the authorizing signature to the account of that business. I know we intend to speak to the Trial Judges Association to see why it looks like or we intend to speak to the Bar Association to see why it looks like. But we have to do these things. We have to find some practical common sense.
Does that apply to the examples you were giving about Coca-Cola factory and the Aruna? And does that apply to these people?
Sure.
Are these companies in Liberians' names?
No, so what I'm saying, the Coca-Cola factory is owned by foreign business.
I know.
Perfect.
Mm.
They can do that. But when they produce the Coca-Cola,
I know you're talking about the distributors. I'm saying, does that apply to them? These companies are in Liberians' names?
So these companies that are all
Distributors of Coca-Cola factory.
so we haven't verified
Okay.
them, but I know most of the businesses are our Indian friends and brothers who own them.
Correct.
So we'll be making the factory themselves to say, look, this is our law. If you are supplying a foreign national to do distribution in Nigeria, you are obviously breaking the law. And so the president, we need a political will, which the president has given, and that's why I'm leading the charge to make sure we can get this done. Our studies show if we can get this done, we can get over 10,000 Liberians involved. Even our friends in the diaspora who always come here, most of them come around. Look, I went to one diaspora forum. It was about what they can do here. I was telling them about some businesses can get themselves involved with here. And if this can open, I mean, somebody say, "Oh, Liberia don't have money to do this." That's not true. There are Liberians out there that got money. There are Liberians in country that got money. What is happening is the environment is not friendly to them, and because we haven't been enforcing this law, which is a good law on the poor, that's why we are facing this problem. If we can enforce the law on these few items and succeed on it, then we can start to add up. Take for instance, Rock Crusher. The Rock Crusher business, you see most of our foreign friends in it. These are businesses that Liberians should be involved. You know what I mean? If Clarion has a Rock Crusher somewhere, it's going to supply the construction of the road from EW Junction to Ralphie. You know what you're talking about? You know how many trucks load of rock? You'll be supplying, even making $2-3 on a kilometer of rock. I mean, you people. And so we have to make sure our people are involved with these things to make sure they can be okay.
Mr. Vice President, that's a very great one. The challenges are already visible. And you talk about taking some pragmatic steps. I want to know how soon will Liberians now start to see the enforcement of these existing laws?
The first proposal is within 30 days. I mean, we're calling them to negotiate, but our proposal to them is look, within 30 days, we are breaking our law. And in 30 days, you should correct them. If you can't correct them, there will be actions taken against you. And we're not going to look back on this.
Action like shutting down the different businesses. What could that be?
Oh, there are laws. There are laws on our book when people violate our laws. There are laws on the book. We're not making new laws. There are penalties. There are ways to deal with it. They are already laid down, you know, and so we'll be following.
I know you talk about the issue of article incorporation, how some Liberians are pretending to be owners of the business. That one, you just said it will have to go through a lot of legal processes. Are there others that we can immediately do? For example, breaking the laws to say immediately we put stop to it. You're not going to do retail. You're not going to allow a non-Liberian company to do distribution. We can close this one while we're trying to work with the Law Reform Commission and the other people to put the other things in perspective.
So because of the law, if you went to court today to say, look, we don't believe Clarence own this business. Clarence cannot own this business. And Clarence look like this. Look at where Clarence live. Look at how Clarence children look like. The court will not support you because Clarence can choose to live the way you want to live. Clarence can choose to have money and don't eat a day and eat one time a day or eat 2 times every week. So what we are doing is to put some common sense. We will be saying to register your business. Clarence who owns this business must be the authorizing signatory to the account. And so if Clarence is the authorizing signatory to the account, to the extent that this foreign person will ask Clarence to put all his money in his name and he can move money at any time from the account, they both of them are okay, they can continue that. But it will be risky for a lot of people to do it. And so they will get out.
Dama, you want to come in?
Yes, definitely. Honorable Vice.
So I want us to spend a lot of time on this business issue.
I agree because
Yeah.
it also plays a pivotal role in
Yeah.
why we have massive unemployment in our country. Honorable Vice President, you mentioned 16 to 17 businesses that are reserved for Liberians as one of the problems. But there's also been fair criticism that access to loans, especially for startups and Liberian businesses, whether coming from government programs or from private banks, they're not readily available for Liberians. When your committee carried out its investigation, was that one of the problems as well? Is it a legitimate problem?
Yes, some of the recommendations we made to the president, which the president seriously looked at and considered, is to put some money in the bank so that Liberians can credit maybe an interest-free or a very low interest. Look, as a state, if you went to credit from the bank as a business person, I know it, I'm there. The first thing somebody tell you 12 to 14%. That is the percentage on the loan. But when the people doing the paperwork, you got to find a small thing. The small thing you find, maybe the thing going up to 16%. Then they will tell you to do insurance. You have to assess your property. The property you're assessing, the person will have to assess it. They are special people who assess these properties. Every bank got these people. They assess them, you have to pay them. So at the end of the day, sometimes to take the loan, you pay about 20%, 22%. There's no business in this country you're doing to get 22%. Unless you're selling drugs. It's not possible. Most of our percentages are between 5, 6, 8, 10%. So that's why you see a lot of Liberians run into not paying the loan. That's one aspect. Can you take, before you finish taking the money they give you, maybe 1 month for the next money you got to pay. Sometimes you even send it for a good. That's why one of our recommendations to the president was about ATM terminal and the max line. They are causing serious problems with our APM terminal and the shipping line, most of the shipping line in the country are the major problem we got here. Look, right now, somebody take our money from the bank. But so most of our winning down water side. They go to China and buy their made tools to come and sell. Most of them go there and can sell for the 26th or they sell for the Christmas and New Year. So you'll see that around March, February, March, all of them in China. Because they're going to get prepared for July market. Then you see maybe around August, September, all of them going again to prepare for December, January. Because it takes 45 days to 60 days for it to continue to leave China to Liberia. Right now, Maxland, because of the normal continuous coming to Liberia, they move all the items coming to Liberia to Abidjan or St. Petro. So when the big ship leaves China, in 45 days to 60 days, they upload Abidjan, Togo or so. To get it from there here, Maxland should find a small boat that will move to a continuous aid. So that jump between here spend 2-3 months. So sometimes these people, July 26th will buy everything and they go there. Most of the goods are faction goods. When you buy them, you come to sell, you can sell them. Before you go back, there's a new faction. Nobody want to own one again. And so most of the people are not paying the banks because before they put it aside after July 20th, maybe August, September, they put it out, then they start to auction them below the price because there's a new faction in town. The market is complicated for our people. And our recommendation to the president is, and the president have to take this, take it by the bull, take the bull by the horn. We have to have a serious conversation with APM today. I know they are a big company. When you want to talk about them, they say, oh, everything there, this person there, that person sitting somewhere. This big country, we understand. We are a small country. We have to manage to work with them. But we think they are not fair to people. And I always say that because APM terminal and the max line and shipping lines in this country are some of the major problems our people face. We have to face them, not to fight them, but call them to the table. What kind of agreement we say we can look at? Okay, after 25 years, we have to look at it. I mean, if us to go to arbitration, let's do. Let's take some action. The president is looking at it seriously, and I can assure you there are discussions ongoing, and there will be some actions taken.
Kelvin, you want to come in?
Mr.
Yep.
Vice President, I sat and listened to you. We are talking all in business for creating an enabling environment for our people to survive, for our people to live. I heard you speak about fronting. I know that I've had conversations with even some of our foreign friends who have said trust and credibility is an issue to take my business as an Indian and give it to Clarence Jackson. I tell them that we really want to do so. And if credibility is an issue, this could drain the economy of our country. It could affect employment. And they are called, quote unquote, the superstructure. They have a way of fighting back. They have a way that they manipulate the system to fight back. That's one. The other issue is has been long running business owners that then cry about the tariff at the ports. This has been a long trending and running conversation. What is the government doing about that? Every time it's just talking and talking and talking, and absolutely nothing is happening. People rather go to nearby countries like Guinea, for instance, to buy a car and drive it through our border points. What is the conversation around that?
So like I said, December, we made a report, and there are a lot of suggestions in that report. I mean, the report is to the president, and I will share with you. But there are a lot of things we say in that report. Look, we took from September to December. We spoke to all of these entities. One of the problems with that in Liberia, before I can answer your question for trust, is shipping lines are not regulated in Nigeria. In other countries, the shipping lines are regulated. In Liberia, if you ship with mass line, maybe they tell you you pay $200-300 for the delivery order. Because when you continue to come, you got to go to the entity to get a delivery order. You go to maybe CMA, they will tell you $700. You go to the other party, so it's not regulated. In our report, we propose to the president to set up, so either ask one of the entities to regulate them or set up a small regulatory body to regulate them. All these things affect the prices. Now, Liberians are not trusted. Look, our foreign friend can steal more than Liberia. When you hear a Lebanese or Indian or British man steal, it's not a joke. A Liberian man stealing, are 2,000-3,000. The problem we have, I have this conversation with them. The real problem we have, which most times getting a friend, which we need to solve, is if a Liberian person is working with them, and that person stole maybe $2,000-3,000. If they took that person to court, most times you hear us say, all the money you're making here, that $3,000, they won't carry them to court, then you see the pressure start to come to bear. But if a foreign person steals 100,000, they prosecute them with nobody saying, hey, all the money you're making. That's the issue. But in terms of trust, the level of stealing Nigerians will do compared with the foreign people they bring, the foreign people steal more. But they add up prosecuting them, and that's why we have to come here as a government. If you are trusted to work with people and they pay you and you pay with their money, you must be prosecuted because you are destroying the way for a lot of Liberians out there. So those are areas we intend to meet them until. I have been proposing to a few persons whether they could form a business entity, and there is a business idea we tend to throw out there to people. Anybody listening? You can form an entity, and that entity you recruit people. So if I recruit Kevin Demi as an accountant, I go to an insurance company and pay the insurance for any damages Kevin will cause. So I take Kevin to Sati Brother. And so there's an accountant. We got an insurance of $500,000 on him. He's up to $500,000 or $100,000 or $50,000. The insurance company will pay. But you pay Kevin, they're seeing $1,500 or $1,800 to pay the foreign national. Other than $1,500 or $1,800 or $2,000 paying Kevin, $500 will come to my entity. Or the $500 I will use, $100 or $200 I have to pay the insurance every month. So that insurance cover you. You understand? If you form a kind of business where you create a database and get people from all walks of life, there are Liberians out there. And a lot of the people looking for the kind of skill, they are here. If they are here, they're in the States, they're in Australia, they're in the diaspora. You can find them. If you form this entity and open it out there, I was speaking to one or two persons in country and in the diaspora. There's a big money-making thing. Form it, and all you do, go to this entity, look. You got an accountant here who is a foreign person. You got a sales manager here who is a foreign person. On our law, this person should not be here. This person should not be here. Oh, but I can find somebody. My company will give you the person. We got the person. We'll give you the guarantee. We'll give you the insurance. We got insurance covering this person. Before you vet these people too, you check their background. The country is small. We know one another. We'll follow you. Who this person, where he been working before? What's his attitude? Is he a criminal? Has he been involved with anything of such? As much as anybody can change in the future. But with all these background, looking for some insurance and other things, you can have an entity in this country that will start sending people all around. You have huge employment, and all the percentage you're getting, trust me, will be some huge amount you wouldn't do. I can't do it now because I ain't there.
Mr. Vice President, Emmanuel, you are coming shortly. Now, you've been meeting these different business people a lot. You know, as Kelvin was asking, there are just some things that we keep talking about in the country that's not moving. government come, government go. We're repeating the same thing. We're talking the same thing over and over. One of it is the issue about bank loan that you just talk about, the interest rate versus the payment time. Are you thinking? I'm asking personally because you are a businessman and also a politician, so you understand most of these things. What would you advise the president in the context of loan for Liberian-owned businesses? I've always said, look, everybody can stay online, go to the executive mansion, and tell the president to divide the money in the country. Can the government put some very good money somewhere, either at the central bank, working with Ministry of Commerce and other people, so that Liberian businesses can go there and take monies with a low interest rate,
Sure.
long payment time? And what are we thinking about? Is there any law that talks about 100% retailer right exclusively for Liberians?
I don't think we are there with that yet. And that's why, before you add all of these things, the first small one is that you take control of it. If you cannot secure this small one, and you start to add other things, that's making law in one way. The first thing we're trying to do is to take seeds of these few businesses at the surface. Once you take seeds of them, then you get to the legislature. We've been having some legislature there in the room. I mean, Amara been in the room. We all been having discussion. You know, I've been in the Senate and the House, so I got friends there, and we've been talking to them. So once we get these first ones under control, and I can tell you, Clarence, what has been lacking is the political will. The president asked me to get involved. I will execute to the core unless the president called me back. Nobody can stop me. If you're my friend, we'll be laughing, we're having a discussion. You will do the right thing. And it's even cheaper for them if they work with Liberia. Look, to pay some of these people you bring in from out, you have to pay their ticket. Some of them got insurance on there, too many things. The money you pay them to file Liberia here, I can do the job, is much better for them. All we need is that political will which the president has given. The president is supporting us friendly. The reason why I came to Stereo is to let the country and those people involved with these actors know that the political will is being made. It should have been the Minister of Commerce here. But I've been asked to come to Stereo. The president told me to come myself and let them know in 30 days we'll be having serious conversation and there will be some actions taken.
Mr. Vice President.
On the issue of the loan.
The loan, yeah.
So if you speak to most of the bankers, the rate of the loan is always high because the payment, most of the loan we take will not pay, which is true. That why are bad loans? And so once the loans are bad, then sometimes the rate is high because the profit you will make here sometimes will take care of some of your bad loan liabilities. And that's why the president and myself have been discussing. The president are very inclined to find some money. What are 10, 20 million first? As soon as we get this year, we take the first 10, 20 million and put it in LBDI, Liberian Bank. LBDI has a lot of branches across the country. And look at it really in the market. Each of them really in the market with that table. That table, trust me, ain't cost more than $500. They get their two better, maybe like $30 or $28, $14, $15. They get one thing I go oil, maybe $35, $40. Two things of red oil, $20. Oil bed, $15, $20. Chicken soup, cartoon, pepper, grumpy bucket. The title small. With $500, I will go back. Whole thing. Came on $500. And tell her, maybe after 2 months, she paid $1,000 every month to the bank. Yes, some of them will not pay. But those who will not pay will be blacklisted. I mean, they cannot get money again. Those who will pay will be opening avenue for themselves. Because when you pay the $500, the next time you can say, no, I'm going to pay you $500. They'll be happy to give you $1,000. When you pay them $1,000, the next time they'll be happy to give you $1,500. Look, motorcyclists, People can say, oh, motorcycle people, that's a big industry in this country. If motorcycle wasn't here, I tell you the criminal rate would be very high. If you go to the interior, motorcycle does all places ambulance can move. Motorcycle moving pregnant with you. Motorcycle, when people die, motorcycle moves them. The motorcyclists got different riders. So if you buy the bike, Clarence bought a bike and give it to Collie. So Collie's ought to be riding. Clarence bought it back for 1,000. Give it to Collie for 1,300. So Collie's ought to ride it back and pay Clarence the 1,300. When he paid the 1,300, Collie owns the bike. Because Collie is riding for Clarence, Collie want to make this money quick. Collie will find another person, they call that person Speckle. Speckle means spare driver. So Collie drives in the morning up to 6 in the evening, he's tired. The Speckle pick it up, you got other men I get back. So Speckle take it and run overnight till 6 morning. And Speckle may report to Clarence and take a late share. And Collie take a late share. Then Collie pick it up the next morning. So most of the back runs 24 hours because there's a rear driver operating, there's a Speckle driver operating. What about the people know what I'm talking about? If we were to put some money in the bank and say, look, most of the bank around TVS, but I think it's around 850 now and 950. And say, look, each of you can take $1,000 to the bank, credit, and you will work and pay the same way you're supposed. So we're not adding anything. Most of the guys will own, and people can own, some people own bikes, they got 2-3 houses. I know people who own bikes, that from bikes they open store today. It depends how serious you are. Besides, some of the people who got their late stores, if you get someone at 10, 15,000, we need to make that decision as a government. If you depend on these foreign banks and other people to say they will get our people loan, trust me, our people will not grow. And so we have to put into place some mechanism, take some money, whether that's 10, 20 million, take from the budget and put it in an account and make sure that Liberians go for it. This informal sector, there are a lot of people in the informal sector. We have to help them there while we're trying to create the bigger job, which takes time. And that will lead me to electricity. Some of the problems we got in this country, the biggest of all, I believe, and anybody can say it's a debate, is electricity.
Mr. Vice President, I will let Emmanuel come in. We wanted to treat it as a discussion.
Yes,
Yes, it's a whole discussion. Yeah.
We will transition to other areas. But I wanted to know, in essence, Mr. Vice President, who is benefiting more for doing businesses in Liberia, and how does the climate look like for Liberian businesses in essence?
The climate is very bad for Liberian business. I can say I'm a business. And look, I'm passionate about this because this is my area. Normally, I can joke with people. I say, look, I'm a real area that I'm an entrepreneur. I keep the hustle, let's say, God bless me, I read the level. But I swear, I go right back. Because that's somewhere I got passion for. If I sit here, we don't fix it, and I go back there, my friends will say, no, man, you are there, you don't help out with the thing, come here, or anything again. You're going to be talking to somebody else. And that's why I say with the speed I'm moving with the president's support and the president's instruction, unless the president slow me down, because he's the only person that can slow me down, work for him, we are moving.
Okay.
That brings me, sorry,
Go ahead,
you're
Kelvin.
concerned about the business climate prior to the start of the inception of this government. There were concerns about NETEC Scientific and CTN. What has changed? Because they're still operating as one. Secondly, I'm receiving reports right now that CTN has stopped all brokers from making CTN payments in the country to pay overseas.
So that's a news to me. We're going to look at that. Some of the problem we face is the issue of the law. One of the first things the president has instructed is to cancel these things. But then the lawyers will advise, the code. There's a contract. You sign a contract. For Liberia to be signing a contract, canceling them, it send a negative image out there that look. These people, if you sign a contract with this government, when that government come, they cancel it. Business people will be afraid to come in your country because it's not reliable. When they sign a contract with government, regardless of what government come in, all you can do is to fix it. And so I was instructed to look at the city and NETEC. So the LRA boss has advised that NETEC is building a center at the port where they put in scanner and whatever construction is going on already. Now, they are having discussion to carry up their percentage up. I think they've done that already. And the percentage they are giving them is low, and they are taking it upward. So LRA should be discussing that. But right after that construction, we have to look at it and see whether the LRA can take over now. And instead of them leaving it in the middle of the construction and shutting it down, when before the lawyers are saying you sign a contract, that contract was signed by your government, despite it not be you as the person who is the Justice Minister or Finance Minister now. But you signed a contract, it's a government contract. And so those are some of the things that are keeping on. But trust me, we are looking at it and see how we can address it.
Mr. Vice President, I'm keen on the startup, the loans. You spoke about that, and you talked about political will as well. We've seen political will as somehow half done, where we've had loan schemes that now we have people being indicted for such schemes. Some of these schemes come about during political seasons, especially approaching campaign time, and you see monies will be dished out and all of that. How different is this proposal you're talking about? How different is it going to be? How impactful and when? Because the budget is already going. We're looking at December now, for the discussion of a new budget for 2027. How soon as well can Liberians expect to see this meaningful startup loans being given to Liberian businesses, not just in the urban areas, but the hinterlands as well, to see this economic growth and drive the country?
So the budget, the president's vision. It depends what the president wants in the budget. When the president sends his vision to the legislature look at it and see where they can move some numbers around. But the budget is the president's budget. Like I've told you, the president is considering seriously this year. I had a conversation with him, so I know what I'm talking about. To put some money in the bank for business people. It would not be the regular thing, what bank send money, no. We're talking about Liberian taxpayer. Take some money. I had this conversation with the Minister of Finance. So we are discussing it across. Take some money. What is the first $10 million committed to the bank? Elbc has a system that people go and take loan. And we will follow up on it. All we want to do is whether it will be as low as maybe 2-3% or interest free. It depends the discussion. And when that happens, where you got a bank as a business person to apply. One thing we intend to do that discussions are going on is to advocate the whole country. There are discussions going on now so that we advocate the whole country. We are trying to get a foreign company that comes in with the expertise that will do like you do the way we do election registration
with the voter ID.
The voter ID. But this time it will be the national ID. Once you register the whole country, the system has a way of sorting out everybody. So if a woman a market woman, she's selling EW market or Joe Bar market, you sort them out, put them into the market category and segment them. Those who are non-Liberian, our brothers and sisters from from Africa, from West Africa, they will sort them up into category. Our foreign friends, they will sort them up. And Liberians, they will also sort us out. So if you do that, it will also help with resident permit, those who have resident permit, It will help with labor permit to work in the country. It will do a lot of things. So that we already put our people into category, and we know them, and you know how to target them. You know where to find them. And so there are a series of discussions going on so that they go together with what we want to do. In the States, we got social security number. We intend that this card will have a social security number. So that number assigned to you, you die, you carry that number. That number is nobody's number. So when they check that number in to find you, if you even went to register the car, just take your ID card, they can pull it out. So it's a whole system we're trying to build. Conversations are going on. There are companies that have applied. Discussions are going on. When we conclude it, at certain point in this country, that could be the president will announce 1 or 2, 3 days for holiday so that people go and register everywhere. All of these things will help to know who are our target people, what are the number of people we're talking. Because most of the numbers we throw in are just estimated number, they are not real number. These ones will give us real number.
Okay, guys, I think we can move on to
Yes,
the
sure.
next sector. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Right now we will move to the mining sector, where the president has again given you an opportunity. I know we'll conclude with the Putu mining deal. We want you to tell the country exactly where are we now. But recently you visited Grand Kitman and you visited B Mountain, and as a result of that visit and some of the information that came up, there were multi-dimensional discussions across the country about the mining laws of the country. Some are calling for reform and all these things. But you looked surprised when you went there. Why did you look that way? You were a representative, you became senator, you signed onto some of these agreements. Why did you look surprised?
So it was my first time at B Mountain side. No, that was my very first time at B Mountain side. All my after B Mountain was some small company, digging some oil. I didn't know until I went there and so I was shocked. I was like, wow, you guys are huge here. And from what I saw, B Mountain is the biggest taxpayer in the country. I thought Mita was the biggest. But B Mountain paid more than the government of Mita. I didn't know that. Yes, I gotta know that. Now, is everything okay there? No. Are there issues? Yes. Can we solve it? Yes, but it requires discussion because we just passed the NBA in 2023. Again, it's a government that passes it. You have to be careful that this government come and pass something and you just come in and scratch it down. Again, the message you send to the world is that you want to do business in Liberia, you got to do it with that government for 6 years. After 6 years, you don't know what to expect the next 6 years. Nobody will move their money into an environment that is not stable. Now, there are a lot of discussions going on. For some reason, a vice president, not everything I can say. Something I can say, I can say. Something I can say, the president can say. But I will move to B Mountain this year. B Mountain is projected to produce 370,000 ounces of gold this year, 2026. Fortunately, this year, B Mountain will be paying some profit and people because they've gotten most of their investment. They are in a stage where they have to pay. If you look at direct, indirect taxes this year, B Mountain is projected at paying a minimum of $250 million. On the high side, it will be paying up to $300 million. Mita Steel, on the low side, Mita should be paying. Mita is projected to move over 20 million tons this year. If they move 20 million tons, they are projected to be paying 150 million on the low side. On the high side, Mita could pay up to 200 million. You have Bad Chico. Bad Chico Bachiko should be moving 1 million tons of ore this year. It's a projection. I mean, they could move more, they could move below, but their projection is about 1 million tons. And Bachiko should be paying about 10 million to Liberia. You have China Union. China Union should be moving 2.5 million tons of ore this year. And direct, indirect taxes should be about $2.5 million. Now, if you put the mining sector together, on the low side for the mining sector, we should be getting about 485 million this year. On the high side, we should be getting about 585 million. That leads me to electricity. Why am I going to electricity? The last time we had a discussion, and the president very serious about electricity. So the president wrote some communication and asked me to talk to B Mountain, talk to Mita, and most of the major mining companies. As we have gone to Dubai, the morning the bombing started. And so we got our tickets and everything. But when we were about to move, the bombing started that very morning. And so we came back. Now, if we don't solve electricity problem, everything we'll be doing in Liberia, regardless of which government, will be window dressing. Electricity is a major problem for which this country will never grow unless we touch electricity. Electricity is everything. Look, without electricity, the hospital will not work. Regardless of how much go buy the MRI, bring the hemoglobin machine, the dialysis machine, and anything you bring in the country, ain't no way anything can come. When it comes one time, boom, 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 the third time blow acid up in it. Something will spoil. A machine you invested millions of dollars in, you have to move it. Sometimes somebody is on the table, they doing surgery, that person on oxygen. And everything just went up because it costs people life in this country. The health sector will not work, regardless of how much money you put in it, if electricity is not taken care of. Agriculture will not work. Because if our mothers, so now you go on the map back the road, you see the people growing all the way potato green, parasol, pepper and things. That woman grew that potato green for 1-2 months. Water in and everything. And cut the green, pulling the big lapa and pulling the taxi and bring it to Greenland. Our people go in the market in the morning, they want to buy fresh green. So they buy the fresh one. By afternoon time, 2-3 o'clock, the sun will come out, the green get folded. The next morning, nobody want to buy it. 2-3 days, get red, they want to throw it away. And then she get discouraged. All the time I spend in the swamp. And you know, are they even getting anything for the thing? I'm not going to do any potato green thing again. I will be passing around asking the people to help me with better than to waste my energy here. If you have electricity here stable, very cheap, any of you can choose to build a cold room to a temperature where you can store vegetable. You get a little picker, you get a little small truck, and just put your number up. Anybody who grow potato green, when they're ready to harvest, they call you. Call you or Clarence, I get potato green, I get almost 1 kilo, 10 kilo or 1 ton of potato green. You go there, they harvest all, you buy it, put it in your truck, you pay, then come and put it in the stores. Okra, pepper, and even the plum is green now. Right now, plum is wasting, so you see the whole pocket $100. Right after this season, 1 month from now, one plum you can sell that same bucket you bought for $100 for 10 hours. You will be happy to that. But because there's no storage, there's no electricity, this thing get destroyed. Clarence, your teacher, they pay you maybe $250, $100, $150 US with 15,000 every. You live somewhere around SKB Boulevard. Your wife got to go to market, either Oro or ERW market or Rayla. If you got a motorbike, maybe you'll be 200 LD to go, 200 LD to come. 200 LB. That tell you we have 200. Don't really want it. But I tell you 200. It means $1 to go, $1 to come. A teacher, your wife have to go to the market every day for 30 days in a month. So she spend $1 in the morning, she go, she come, she cook. The food you eat in the morning, the trainer warm it soon, they will wait down, and she go back. So you realize your wife is spending about $60. Some distances that are short, you pay 100 every to go, 100 to come. You pay $30 for only transportation to go in the market. If electricity was stable, you buy a little small freezer, $250, $300. Maybe take it from the Elbc store. You pay $25. Your wife can go in the market one time. Buy potato green, palm butter, cassava, or she bring it, she package it, buy chicken feet, carton, and thing, and she pack it, bring it, and put it in the freezer. Every day, if she won't cook every day, sir, she just take one Saturday and Sunday, she cook 2 days and put all the soup in the rubber penny and put it in the bag. When you come from work, you get a little small microwave, got some soup, put small red, make it hot. You eat some, you tire, they have ready, you put it back. The next day, you can't eat it, I see red, just put it in the microwave. It cut down a lot of expenses.
Yeah, and Mr. Vice President, we spend some more time on electricity because I know I was part of a forum on your farm. I think it was 1 or 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. You converge stakeholders
So
in that
let
sector.
me tell
Yeah.
you what the president is thinking.
Yes, I wanted to know what's your vision for getting rid of the electricity problem so that we don't keep complaining every time back and back.
Long-term plan.
To get rid of electricity, like I told you, the president asked me to sit with some of the major companies. I sat on the time, and the CFO of the time. My conversation with him was, look, the president wants to solve this electricity problem. Meter, you need electricity. Right now, you pay 18 to 21 cents for electricity. You need power as cheap as 10 cents and below to make your project viable. We have all of our rivers, but we don't have that single big capital to invest. Can you do that investment? And we discuss whether we can commit some of the taxes you're supposed to pay to us. We commit it, and this will take a whole of government approach. The legislature, the executive, we have to come together and say, look, take some of these taxes, and when the electricity come up, if you're taking 100 megawatt, take the 100 megawatt for the next 5-10 years until you get. We can have some discussion. We met with B Mountain. B Mountain, they start doing mining. They are heavily into construction. I'm told, if I'm right, they built an airport in Ghana. They've done a lot of hard work. As we speak, there are teams from B Mountain in country looking at our hard work, Mount Coffee. They are doing a study now. They gave some consent. They are doing a study now. What are our problems?
You meant to say metal steel? Or?
No, we're talking to Metal, we're talking to B
Okay,
Mountain.
okay.
So B Mountain got a team in country. They are good at building hard road. They told the president in a meeting they can build a hard road for 3 years. We can get it done. Why they say our hard road won't work during the dry? Because that,
Excuse me, at the same place where we have our current hard road or a new hard road?
okay, so there was a study done in the 70s, and that study has been improved on. The Via River and the St. Paul River. There's 2 rivers running to Mount Coffee. There's the Via River and the St. Paul River. Those rivers, when they flow in, they flow into the Mount Coffee, but during the drought, it gets dry. This study says there should be a reservoir built. There should be a reservoir built that can store the water, control the flow of the water. Once you build that reservoir, whether dry or rain, you will have always a flow of water, because all you need is the force of the water to turn the turbine. And that's why we make the hydro very cheap. You just need water to flow. The study says, and World Bank has also said that to build the reservoir, the preliminary studies show you need $1 billion. So every time we hear 1 billion, say no need to even start. What we're going with 1 billion, but we got to take a step. If you don't start, you'll never start. You have to start. Some of my discussion with the president said, look, chief, we don't have the money. We might need about 2 billion to 3 billion in the rest of the sector. Because we have kept up a generation to do the reservoir, to do the turbine. That's one aspect. Right now, the line coming from Mount Coffee to Monrovia, transporting the power, the high tension line, we lost here about 3-4%. Because the lines are smaller, we need to re-strengthen those lines. So every power that leaves in Mount Coffee, we lost here about 3-4%. We have 4 turbines in Mount Coffee. Prior to the war, it was the same 4 turbines. But those turbines were 16 megawatt each. When the war came, it got destroyed. People looked at the place. We remodeled the turbine and put the same 4 turbine. But this time we made it 22 instead of 16 megawatt. That's how we got 88. When it got through one of it got problem, and so we lost 22 and we have 66. So during the rainy season, the 66 flow. During the dry, the water go low, and we lost almost everything and only get small from it. Now, if that reservoir is built beside Mount Coffee, right by the reservoir, you can do simple 4. You have simple 1. Instead of talking about simple 1, simple 2, simple 3, simple 4. Simple 4 is projected around 400 megawatts. It's right close to the reservoir. If you put a turbine there, and the guys are saying they can cascade the turbine, meaning they put some here, they put some here. If we can get about 400 or even 1,000 megawatts after building the reservoir, Liberia is ready. And look, when you get that done, the tourism sector will pick up. In Liberia, water is very expensive.
Okay, Mr. Vice President, let's take a mini break. We come back.
Yeah, sure. Of course, you're listening to
Let's take a mini break.
the Super Morning Show this morning. We have the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. This broadcast has been relayed in several stations around the country. We have OKFM, Prime FM, Cool FM, Spoon TV, a Classic FM in Kakata, Radio Magibi, Radio Tukba, Smart Radio, Radio Banga, Super Bunkies, Radio Kintuman, Voice of Lo-Fi, Voice of Nimba, Smart FM, and several online platforms as well. So let's take this short break to be right back. My name is Emmanuel Tato Mokoli. This break, stay with us. We are talking lots of different issues. And usually we start the conversation with the business environment. How does the climate look like for Liberian businesses? And the Vice President has said, with the permission of the President, he's upbeat, he's ready to lead a robust campaign to ensuring that the business environment is favorable for Liberian businesses. And I mean, we also transition, we talk about money, we enter on with the electricity, and we took that break.
Yeah, thank
Kelvin
you.
is here, and of course, Damo and Clarence, we are heading this broadcast.
Thank you. I think Damo is coming in. But before Damo comes in, Mr. Vice President, when I was asking about B Mountain, it was just something to stir you up, but I was driving at a discussion. Now, What is it about the mining laws of the country? There are a lot.
You want me to conclude
The electricity. Oh, I thought you've concluded. Okay, yeah, just conclude. Because I want for us to talk
some
about
other
mining.
person out there would say, yeah, we hear all the problems. We hear how you solve it, how you get it. We had a meeting with the executive of BMAT and the president chair. And like I said, this would be a whole of government approach.
Mhm.
If BMAT should be giving up 250 to 300 million a year, is it possible to compare BMAT to take that money? LRA will work with you. It shouldn't come in budget. Maybe it will just go through the consolidated back, or we have some conversation. If you keep $250 million on the low side for 3 years, that's $750 million. Start the project. If they can get it done, if they raise $300 million, and we're talking about $900 million, we can pay it in 3 years. In 3 years' time, we tell them, look, keep your money, don't pay it. Do the hard work. Let tighten the screw. Announce to the country that, look, these 3 years, company X and company Y will not be paying, and so things will get tough. We adjust travel, we adjust other places in the budget to make sure we adjust to the extent that, because we have to take out the foundation of work. Once we can get that done, in 3 or 4 years, once that project is done, the project is banking. Meaning, once the project gets up, any bank ready to put money in it. At this time, you can give me 100 megawatts. Today thinking, all of us leaders, all of us, and because of today's thinking, the country is what it is. We have to think beyond us. And that's why it will tie some money in the budget. And you say the mining sector, look, President Biden and Madam Sadi ran a budget of 600 million. The country didn't buy. They started with 80 million, the country didn't buy. We are 1.2 billion. We can commit the mining sector. The financial people do the detail. But we have to take a bold and strong. Because if you go to World Bank and all these people want the credit, they will want sovereignty, guarantee, and all these things. Look, the people already moving, the resources for the country, they know they got it on the ground, the studies are done, they know they are here for the next 10, 15 years, Mita here for the next 100 years. All our damn Mita will be here. Let's put the investment now so that we save ourselves in the future.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's-
Mr. Vice President, I listened to you on the energy sector. That's one of the committees again the president entrusted you with, the LEC committee. You met with stakeholders and the rest. But you're talking long-term and sustainable term as well. You mentioned Ghana and where we are and our thinking. That's big. But Liberians are concerned about the intermediary solutions until we get to the bigger one. What are we looking at in terms of renewables? What are we looking in terms of what we're getting from the West African power pool and the rest? What are we doing to stabilize the bleed until we can have a final solution for ourselves?
So that is already ongoing. But it's not enough. Look, power is life. The geopolitics can spin at any time. When are we getting power from Cote d'Ivoire? We're getting power from Guinea. Guinea that they have 300 megawatts. I think the last 1-2 years. Guinea got the Guinea. The reason why Guinea giving up power is because I think their infrastructure to transport power and things. So they're giving up some from that. But Guinea, they poor fly across the border. Why they got to cut the current? What happened? Assuming we in Cote d'Ivoire, there's an issue, we take a vote at the UN Security Council or so, and Cote d'Ivoire now happen, they cut us off. Your power cannot be dependent on other countries. You have to make a decision as a government, and that's why the president is taking this country. We will make the president is making a very strong decision. Yes, things will get tough at a certain point, but when we cross that bridge, the country will pick up and will never go back. HF4 is another place we're looking. We're talking to people to come and do the HF4. The HF4 is the big generator you see around the Freeport area there. Where we got there used to be 38 megawatt. But because the machine has stayed so long, right now we're getting something like 18, 20 megawatt. The space is enough to take about 150 megawatt. We're trying to see whether we can get engines. And discussions are far ongoing. LEC and Samsung memorandum of understanding and discussions are going on with the agreement to do 150 megawatt at Bourgeois Island. That is expensive because you got to use the heavy fuel, and sometimes you use the real fuel, and so you got to set it up. That is the first one we need to do to keep the place stable while we're looking at the hardware. The studies show that to set up 150 megawatt plant, the guys are saying it will take them 2 years, and the hardware will take 3 years. So they tell you everything will take time. There's not a quick fix here. The LEC manager is checking around on the market because this engine, when you put in for them, sometimes it takes 1 year to build it. And so unless you lock it that somebody put in for them, and the person not using it for some reason, or somebody got rid of what they put in for, and you get the engine, and then you bring it in. So they're checking out to see where they can find some 50, 60 megawatt, bring it in country, immediately install it, to see how we can mitigate the coming drought season, because this one almost to mitigate the problem this coming drought season. But we have to go with 2 years and the 3 years. We have to take a decision to invest $2-3 billion into electricity. We've got to commit to do that. Look, to generate the power is one thing. To transport the power is another thing, that transmission. Our transmission system is very weak too. It requires huge investment. The substation, ERW, not ERW, ERW, right?
Yeah,
Joba.
Joba.
Joba is one of our biggest substations. But I think Joba can take up to 20 or 30 megawatt. If you have 50 megawatt, you put in Joba, you can take it. You go to Rousey Highway, so we need to upgrade all of the substations so that when the power, so we need to do generation, transmission, and distribution. All these three sectors must be taken care of. When you do that, trust me, tourism will work, agriculture will work, health will work, every other thing.
And we want to do it.
So you got to deal with the foundational issue so that when the structure is going up, then you don't have a problem. But if you don't deal with the foundation, every time the structure going, there's a crack in the foundation, we break the whole wall down and we restart. And that's why we've been on for the foundation.
Just to your fault.
Honorable Vice President, you have laid it out. It sounds amazing. But my question is, if the weight is so heavy on the state, and this discussion has been ongoing for years upon years, why can't we have a PPP, or why can't we just privatize a sector within the energy domain there? Either the distribution, the government can handle the generation. Why aren't we looking in that direction to make it effective, efficient, and it works for Liberians?
So most of the big money was when somebody taking that $1-2 billion to bring in a country to invest. The first thing you need every guarantee. Somebody guarantee will be having for the World Bank will not agree for it to. World Bank will tell you that you can't pass there, you can't go so, you can't count this out. And these are big international banks. If you tell them no, they pull out from your country, all the other entities around the world will run away from you, because if you don't, it happened here. When President we took over 2018, the decision was we're not going to World Bank. World Bank can slow people down. We need to move. That's why we went for Eton and Iboma to see how we could do the road. 2019, they screw everywhere. We could not pay salary. So the whole country, the government can pay salary. They have to run back and say, World Bank, look, we're here. We thought we could make it, and so these things are set up to the extent that country like us is difficult to find. We are the small people dying, the big boys making the decision out there. We have to find our way. These people paying our taxes. Most of the money comes on the budget. So after the president myself talking about the chief. When you and said he started at 80 million, the biggest problem we had in this country was security people now on payroll, volunteer security people, volunteer health workers, volunteer teacher, volunteer chiefs. The problem we have. The budget went to 600 million. Volunteer teacher, volunteer security, volunteer health worker, and volunteer. The budget is at 1.2 billion. We just did a supplementary of 53 million. Most of the money are volunteer chiefs, that volunteer, so it will not finish. And because the environment is not okay for business and private sector because there's no electricity, so everybody wants to go to government. Every Liberian child growing up know that the only way you can ride a brand new car is to be in government. So you either representative, you either minister or assistant minister, then you ride a brand new car. Other than that, there's less than 1% of the population that can really struggle to ride and sell a new car. So the country thinking on it, the only way you can survive, unless you go to government. We have to break down. That's what this president is saying. To do that, you got to go to the foundational issue that is electricity.
Okay, Mr. Vice President, before we stick to the lands, importantly, you will give us an update about the Putu mine deal. How far has your committee worked? You know, what is no secret is that following the sensational hostilities in this country, we needed investors to come. So the argument is that most of the deals the legislature signed were to attract investors.
Sure.
Years have come and years have gone now. And I'm taking you back to the mining thing. There are a lot of Liberians who think our mining laws are bad. And they think we are not doing anything to straighten up the mining law. People believe that when we are negotiating and discussing, we get too much to the concessionaires, to these companies, than we'll do for Liberia. You're being at the House of Representatives, you are at the Senate, you're vice president now of the country. Do you hold that view? What can we change?
So yes, Clarence, most of the deal we have after the war, no business person will bring their money in. So the people can find it and their money. So the first thing the business maker is showing money. The insurance rate is very high. And when the insurance rate is high, and they make to put it on you. So time has passed. We've gone through 2, 3, 4 elections. The world knows Liberia is peaceful. We are on track. When you sign a contract, we don't come and they cancel them. We are on course. They just in the meter deal we have. That's good.
That's good.
Very good. Not very good, but good. Before This big company paying 50,000 for money lesson for 25 years. They pay the 50,000 for 25 years, they finish, they get our money lesson. The new agreement says the town will pay 500,000 every year for that money lesson.
The one that were paying 50,000 for 25
For
years.
25 years. They're paying 500,000 every year. This is the first time we got 200 million in signature bonus. It never happened in this country. There are some good things. Did we get all we wanted? No. But we made some strides. If we had the opportunity to look at Big Mountain again and look at Bar Chico and China Yin and all these people, some of them still paying the $50, the 50,000, we will change that. But it has to reach a point where it comes to the table for discussions and we have this conversation. Now, that leads me to Putu. Putu Mines was given to, and please giving the NDA. Putu Mine was signed in 2010. In 2010, and somebody does document that, I can read them. It's a public document. This is the Putu agreement, the NDA. September 2010, September 20th, 2010, this law was passed, giving Putu to the company called the Putu Iron Ore Mining Incorporated and the Mano River Iron Ore Limited and the Liberian government. This deal is for 25 years. For somebody in the market out there listening to me, it means you get your horse, you lease your horse to someone for 25 years. So the person get a lease agreement for the house. Now, we get to talk to this company. So many people behind this company are Russians. When Ebola killed, they started. When Ebola hit, most of the companies left. China, most of the companies left. Putu left. They got sanctioned. American people say nobody can do business with them. Since then, they got a deal, but they can't come. By 2020, 2021, they wrote the last regime that, look, we want to give this thing out to somebody because we got issues and we can't come and we can't keep holding it. Under the law in the NDA, they got a first right to give it up to somebody, but the government must consent. Say, okay, we agree. You want to give it to Clara? You want to give it to Demi? Okay, we agree. If the government think Clara not okay, Demi not okay, the government can equally recommend Diamond. They got a right to say no. So we both must agree on somebody. During the President Weah time, there was a discussion with a company called ROG. Radio Mason and other Liberians behind. So they went far with the discussion. Then we came and took over. When we took over, the President reviewed the records. And the President set up a committee of the Ministerial Concession Committee to look at this and see how we can move this thing forward. That committee shortlisted 3 companies. One was AMR, that we got Sheriff Adala Liberian behind. We got Jinda Steel, it's an Indian company, very big in India. And we got Planet One, it's a company based in Dubai with partners in India. They shortlisted the 3 companies and sent to the President, look, we don't due diligence. Any of these 3 can do the work. The President said, you limit it to 1. These are business people. Why having this conversation? Some of these guys have gone to the Russian. Look, the Liberians are doing some work trying to see how they can vet a company. But I plan, and I want to start talking to you so that in case I'm preferred by them, then I can also be okay with you because when I'm preferred by them, unless you agree. So there were some people ahead of the talk. The committee recommended the AMR. a Liberian company, which is good. We want Liberians to get in the sector to make money. And so that at the letter was written, I think sometime November, December last year, wrote the Russian that look, we recommend to you this company to look at them and see how you can. So he left with the company now to be business people talking about government can't go there and say, you can't tell your use. I don't know. So they started working with them. AMR started working with the Russians. Every time the president had the community tell him, look, we on course. From December, January, February, March, 4 months ago.
This year.
Nothing
December
happened.
last year.
November, December last year. I got all the letters I gave you some. I think November it was written or so. So 4 or 5 months gone, and the president keep hearing, well, we're almost there. So the president said, look, Mr. Vice President, he wrote me and said, look, get involved, get the community together. I'm hearing update, but I think this thing is delaying too much. These are some of the bread and butter issues we're talking about. If anything come up, it will have a lot of people employed, especially in the southeastern part of the country. When I got a communication, I convened a meeting immediately. I sent for AMR, look, we recommended you, how far you going with the discussion? Oh, we going far. Can you send me documentation to prove that you're going far with them and what the status? The NRC, how far are we? They gave me all the documentation. So my team and myself started to review it. So we asked the Minister of Mines to write the Russian to find out as to how far you're going with the people we recommended. The Russian responded, now look, I will summarize it, and I can share that communication with you.
Okay.
Now look, the people you recommended to all are the least. We gave them the data to look at the data. They haven't come back to us yet with the conclusion of the report from the data. We asked them for proof of fund. What proof you can give or that you got money to run this mine? They haven't given us a written communication showing all the proof of funds so we can verify. If they conclude with the data process and give us a proof of fund, from that day, we will take about 6 months to 1 year to sign the sales agreement. That's one aspect. When the sales agreement is signed, the next thing will be to pay us. You cannot just pay us because you have to go to OFA. This entity set up in America that people who on sanction, how do you pay them? Because you cannot pay the Russian direct. You have to pay them looking at all the sanction things. So there must be an agreement where the American government, the entity in America will have to come in and say, look, okay, maybe you can put the money in the account. They will be there until they may leave from sanction. Some discussion. They say that one will also take another 6 months to 1 year. So it means your people here recommend that they did the feeling with their study and give up proof of fund that they are not done for the last 4 or 5 months. Then we'll start. It could take 1 year or 2 years. When that letter came, we sent it to AMR, Sheridan. You say you're going well with these people. Can you respond to this letter? They gave her another response. We had a communication to send it to the Russian. But you told our people the least, but our people say this, and this. One of the things that flagged in the communication center, AMR said they had an agreement, a memorandum of agreement with the government of Liberia. So we sent all the documents. The Russian responded. We want you to know him to summarize it. That this mountain is in our possession. We got a lesson for it until our time expires. If you sign any agreement with anybody, we are not part of it and we are not party to it. We want to make it clear in this communication. And we keep telling you, the people we are recommending to you, look at them. These people will waste your time and you're going nowhere with this now. Paraphrasing. When that communication came to us, we invited the AMR. Sherry King. Sherry is my friend. We all do business together. I think my man, for all indication, the people don't want to work with. And we got to agree with them So we can force them. The people say you are not giving a proof of fund. Where is your proof of fund? He will tell me, we're talking to African Finance Corporation. Yeah, they are big company, they got a lot of money. They are a good a lot. Yeah, but all the people got big money. But how much have they committed to this project? We couldn't get it. So then the committee took a decision and look at what the people present. So we wrote them. The Minister of Mines were asked to write. If we were to go with the company you are recommending, and that company is one of the 3 companies that was shortlisted by the committee prior to my coming. It's called Planet One. If we were to go with Planet One as you have recommended, how long will it take you to do the sales agreement and to take care of the sanction plan? They say in 10 business days, they will conclude the sales agreement. There's the same agreement, they say they will take 6 months to 12 months with the people we recommend. But for the people they recommend, it will take 10 days. How long it will take to complete the sanction process? They say within 6 months, we'll complete the sanction process. For our people who recommend it will take 6 months to 1 year. So with that, we took a decision.
What is that decision?
Now look, let's go with what they are proposing.
Planet One.
Planet One. So we wrote Planet One. Now look, we received a communication from Silverstar, the Russian group, recommending you. Can you furnish us with the proof of fund and whatsoever you have? They presented to us the document. They presented to us the document. I can leave it with you. I will ask the minister whether it's public. If it's not public, I will give it. They presented to us a documentation, and this documentation is a whole document proving to us the proof of funds, which banks, all the banks are listed here, the amount of money and whatsoever. When they presented all of these documents, we'll have no option to conclude and say, look, the Minister of Mines should write and authorize that the government has agreed and they can go ahead and change the control. Change control means the flipping from this company to this company. Remember, this deal has been done, it's not going back to the legislature.
So this is as a result of the Liberian companies' continued lack of capacity.
According to the Russian who should agree with us, the Liberian company has given a no proof of fund. The Liberian company has not concluded the due diligence on its study yet. And as of the day they will conclude, then the discussion will start. So mean, even in the 4-5 months we're talking, they haven't started anything.
But notwithstanding, you had a conversation with your partner, you said, Abdallah Sherry. Were you convinced that he could meet up to the task?
Did they convince the government?
Because it's one thing. I know you don't want to put him on the spot, but can you say this to the public?
So me as a president, this is my whole opinion. He didn't convince me.
He didn't convince.
Yes. And I believe they didn't convince the committee further. Because every committee member signed and said, oh, our guy is delayed and let go of what the people present. So the committee took a decision.
Mr. Vice President, we'll pass the order to the phone lines, but I just want to throw in this question quickly. I just got back from Putu about 3 days ago. Went on a site visit, just to get a clearer understanding. Because when we went to Monte, I could see your face, when you were told, how much gold they take from year and year. Putu, the place is devastated with poverty. That's a fact. The community there, Tiamanstown, they don't even have a clinic. They don't have a school. And they sit on billions of dollars. There's been this conversation that we've been settling for less. And you are now at the helm of this. Yes, it's not going back to the legislature, but what are you going to do differently as head of this committee to make sure that those who sit on these deposits, the benefit as compared to what we've been seeing, that's the trending line?
So the first thing I want to establish is we are not having new discussion. There is already a deal signed for 25 years from 2010. This deal got time to review. Unless the time for review comes, then the executive will review and send to the legislature. As it stands, The deal remain as is. We're not crossing no T, we're not dotting no I. All we're doing is the Russian, because they are sanctioned and things, they cannot run this mine. We can't keep it here like this. Our people in the southeast need to get job too. And so they are finding a different company to say, Eli, you got your house, I got my house, lease it to you. You leave the house for 2 years. You spend 6 months, you won't move. And you know, in the lease agreement, it say you can lease it to Kevin, but you can only lease it to Kevin for that balance 1 year and 6 months. You can't lease it more than. So any business they're doing now, it will be from 2010, 25 years, minus the years. So we're talking maybe 9 years balance they are giving to these people. Now, they should be paying the government about $40 million or thereabout, plus or minus, for a cumulative social development fund and taxes. They should have been paid to government. I am too. About 75% of our money is going to the affected community. That's Grand G there, that's River G, and that's Sign. Imagine putting 20, 25, $30 million right after the deal. They changed. I'm told Wednesday they signing the sales agreement.
This Wednesday?
Day after tomorrow.
Oh,
In fact, they wrote the minister because to sign our sales agreement, you must pay 10,000 umbrella for the invoice into US dollars. Sorry. So they asked the government for the invoice. I spoke to the minister this weekend. I'm told the invoice gone or it should be leaving today. And so once the invoice goes, they will have to pay that $10,000 US to LRA. That is the fee that is leaving Silver Star to Planet One. That's the fee. Same deal, nothing changed. Minus the time they have used, the balance down, that's what the sign is.
with all the conversations that are ongoing, Mr. Vice President, how soon do we expect the reactivation of this?
So if the sign sales agreement on Wednesday, which ends the 10 business working day they told us about, then the first part of the discussion they said we are not good. They said it would take 6 months. Within 6 months, they were finishing the sanction process because to pay the Russians, I'm told some of the agreement they got aid. They want the offer. Offer if there's people who look at people who are sanctioned in these kind of cases. How do you pay them? They are having an agreement that say, look, they will find a bank, and the other company will deposit the people money in that bank and say your money you spend for the time you had the project, we putting it in the bank. And it will be in that bank until the man can clear himself from sanction before he has access to that. That's a whole process they are dealing with. The Planet One group to us, they've hired 4 law firms, 2 law firms in America, 1 in London, and 1 in Singapore. They are very good at these things. And so we expect that in 6 months from the signing on Wednesday. So if they sign in March, we will be looking at not March, this is April, right? April. So that May, June, July, August, September, October. So let's say between now to December, we expect that they can pay the Russian and pay us our 40 million, of which 25, 30 million will be going to the southeast, the 3 counties. And you're talking about cleaning, you're talking about, these are big social development funds that will impact the counties immediately. And when that happened, they signed, they told us in 15 to 20 months, they will move the first iron ore through the port of Greenville. So we're talking about soon. And once these things start in the southeast, that part of the country will start to get life. People will start to work. Some of you might leave from here, go there, maybe public relations officer for the company. Or association. So it is solving the bread and butter issues we keep talking about.
Kelvin, want to ask a final question?
Yeah, my final
It might
question
take
is
some
just on 2 folds. A wrap up on the B Mountain. We did go to B Mountain quite recently. It generated a huge debate. I'm quite sure you followed the debate. You talk about what you saw. I'm not so sure you were able to zero in on what you found or what displeased you, Mr. Vice President. and then we can go into the yellow machine thing, the status of the whole
Yeah,
yellow
sure.
machine conversation.
So because when I went there and left, there was some tension and the demonstration and other things. These are investors as much as we may not be happy with some of the things. The way to do it, not to start jumping on things and branding things and other things. So some of the briefing I briefed the president. The president has informed the relevant entities involved. So discussions are going on. I would not want to start throwing something.
Great.
Were you able to have a conversation with the workers there? Because sometimes people like you go there and they prevent you from having a conversation with the real people.
I wasn't able to see the worker. I mean, in a room we were, there were some of the top Liberian management people. They were all Liberians in uniform. I saw them. I mean, we all talked, but there was no deep conversation. I was just asking based on what I saw. And that briefing was given to the president. The president has informed the relevant stakeholder, and discussions are going on. Because it's sensitive, some of the issue, I don't want to sit here as a leader and
Okay.
start throwing something, people
Yellow
drumming in the
machine.
street. Yellow machine.
Yeah, the yellow machine. The first
Where are
batch, the first batch in country, it generated a lot of excitement.
So the
People
first
are
batch is-
concerned how soon will these all
Again, almost all of the equipment are packing in Abidjan or St. Petrol.
The remaining ones?
Yes. And it's the same thing I'm talking about. So the big vessel, some of the big vessel, 15, 20, 30,000 containers from there. They can't face in our port. So it comes, they go to Abidjan, they go to Accra, they dock in this port. So that's St. Petrol. Then the CMA, Maxline, all these companies, they have to find smaller vessel to take them and bring them. And there where the delay is. And those things are in our report to the president. These are places they have to speed up some of these things. If you brought some of the equipment, maybe it's government equipment, so they might bring it faster. But there are business people continue sitting there. They've been there for months. And because they are big entities, they are giants, they got people sitting behind there. You're talking about, they say, Tony Blair, all these big people. You know, the whole war starts with 2-3 persons running the first. So the first thing that when the American president speaks, and maybe the president of China, the French president, Great Britain, when they 4-5 men talk, everybody got to be waiting what they say. Because they have the power that be. And so you have to be careful the way we deal with them. But we can still deal with them. They can still use their beaming power. But some of the things are happening up to all we have. Look, the European ambassador to Liberia called me the last time that we weren't treating European businesses fair. APM terminal few businesses. And I told them, you people are not treating us fair too. And we have a frank conversation in our meeting. And there are further meetings. They agree in our meeting that we should do a platform where there are issues with their company. So some of the big companies to take on them like that, they are heavy costs. So now the White House call you and say, look, Clarence, we're talking to you, Nita is our friend. Then you have to, sometimes the call comes from this country. It's a tight space to be in. But we agree with you people, but our people do nothing else. So the other small INT, can we, so those are the kind of discussions we are
I'm
having.
afraid that we're not going to start any sooner because we have the remainder of our equipment into the Lakota.
No, I'm told one small vessel brought some already there at the port as we speak. It's only Liberian water. I think it should be docking in either this morning or tomorrow or so. So because the vessels are small, so we think that maybe between now to the end of the month, all the equipment will be in the country. And at the end of the month, hopefully, as soon as we get in June, the equipment should start moving to the counters, deploying them to the counters. Yeah. And so, the last time I listened to 1 or 2 persons, oh, they say, they put in a machine, they carry Araco, they go pack it there. No, we carry Araco. They tell that the shipping company are not coming to Liberia directly, and so they have to use
So why would
another
you
port.
afraid? Maybe we can use a trucking service to have them transported. I think San Pedro is shorter to Liberia through the Liberian Africa.
So those are new equipment. The first thing some of them come on the container, maybe they call it tire off or so, that will go get them together. And you pay for destination. You pay already to deliver to Liberia. You go put on the road, people driving all the equipment, some fall down on the road, some of that thing happen, you can't explain. They put a beat on you. You have been like you pay to real Liberia, you go put it, I go, you can't drive it. You have to your spot a neutral. So we pay for destination, it takes more time, but it will be here.
Great. It will be here. I know we'll take calls, but this final one that's talked about the impacts of the Middle East war, especially on petroleum produce. So looking at the LPRC, what has been done to stabilize prices of the basic petroleum products?
So sure, the Middle East is affecting the whole world, not just petroleum products. Look, most of the fertilizer we use in the world come from our region. The urea thing, some of the things I think it comes from petroleum products. It comes from our region. So if you watch CNN and Al Jazeera and all the news, farmers are complaining in other countries that the fertilizer. Most of the petroleum we receive in Liberia, because most of our people here do not have the money to bring the petroleum down. There are companies sitting out, some of the companies in Dubai and other places. So the company comes in and bring in a volume of petroleum, but they bring it on our colleague's name. So they bring the product and put it in a colleague signed an agreement with them that he will sell the product. That agreement also says, for any reason they want to take their product from the country, they can suck it and take it anytime. And that's why they have to press that product every day. So when they break, based on the world market, they tell colleague today, petroleum at $2. Tomorrow you go to $2.50, they call colleague and say price at $2.50. The after tomorrow it dropped to $1.80, they tell colleague. So the product is in country, it's being managed by a colleague, but colleague don't own the product. But he's selling it. Now, because of that, most of the products are already in country because it's not for us, it's for the company sitting somewhere and they sell it to us on a daily basis based on the petroleum international rate. It affected us. As soon as the price went up, the manager know that get the price up. You can't tell them no, they will bring a ship and suck it and go. And so we keep moving up. That's what they're affecting the sector. There have been this noise in the media about taxes, people playing with taxes and things at LPRCs. There's a serious investigation going on. I wouldn't go deep into it, but what I would say on the surface is these are some of the things happening. So they got big importers. Sometimes you listen, you see one big gas station sitting here. They never importing the product. Take for Aminata, selling to a gas station for $600 for gallon. But one begin selling rarely in, selling for $510 or $550. So the gas station, the guy who bringing the product, selling it $600. The man who they can both sell it for $550. How? It doesn't make sense because you buy it from this guy. This is what happened, and that's why we're trying to close. The president appointed me to work at it. I'm working with LRA, all of us doing the movie. The first thing we've done, we moved the two banks in first. Other banks will go over, Echo Bank and UBA go in already to collect already on behalf of the government. What can happen is Jeremiah can bring the product in country. So the product I'm talking about the product in country on Jeremiah need, right? Today Jeremiah say he's selling the product for $3. When you look at road fund and all taxes on petroleum, every gallon is about 95 cents. The road fund 30 cents, different taxes. So the guy giving the petroleum for $3 are supposed to pay 95 cents in taxes, $3.95, and maybe I'm selling for 20 cents margin, so I'm selling for $4.50. But my colleague who is a a dealer too. That guy is lesson comes to buy from me. I will sell to him for $3. He's supposed to pay his taxes to government because you're a dealer too. What happened is Connie, the petrol he took from me from $3 plus the 95 cents he's supposed to add on it that to make it $3.95 plus the profit. Connie selling the product to Clarence Jackson for $3.50. You're not following me?
Yes.
There is $3 for the product that I supply Connie. Government taxes is 95 cents. So the actual cost of the product is the product itself plus the taxes, that's $3.95. Connie got to sell to make profit. So you got to ask $1.05. But Connie is selling below the $3.95. He's selling $3.50. He lost 45 cents. They got an arrangement that Connie will take the product for 10 days before he pays the taxes. So every 10 days you sell, you pay, then you come back here to 10 days. Because Connie is selling $3.50, in 10 days, Connie can sell 1 million gallons. He paid my $3 million. The 50 cents you add on the petroleum product to be taxes, that should be 95 cents, they go to $500K for him. You go to the person of the collector, the method of making pay $950,000. You know what I mean? The 950, I give you $100,000, you put it in government. The other $200,000 ticket is for you. There's belief about it. The other $200K, the man ticket.
The whole cartel.
It's a whole cartel. It's been years. So we're trying to break it. Some of the decisions we're taking is the men who bring the product pay the taxes. So you give it to Kodio, you give it to Jalal. Whatsoever you do, you put the taxes on it. So if from the day the product comes in, and you brought, let me put it in gallons, metric ton, and you brought 10,000 gallons, it will be 95 cents or 10,000 in the market only. Diamond brought 10,000 gallons, put it on. Every time you take product in 10 days, we make sure you clear. So we're closing that other gap. And like I said, I can't go deep into it. They're throwing some symptoms.
Yeah, diamond.
There are a lot of things happening.
Okay, so I have the impression that the management has extended with the consent of the vice president. Just 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
We are to the town to take callers. So Damo just ask
Yeah,
the final.
that's a
You
good.
get 1 hour.
Yeah, then we ask
The
callers.
BPS will run.
You get 1 hour.
Say 1 hour that policy right there.
No, Mr. Vice President, we can't do that long.
Unless
We gotta go.
Honorable Vice President,
Yeah.
you've spoken extensively on a lot of issues, and one of the key national issues, I'll just give you my question in a hopeful, updates from the border, Solomba is key. We've got reports that schools have reopened. We'll be going there to, follow up on that. The approach of the government has been soft power diplomacy, try to make sure we can negotiate all of that. Have you gotten any recent assessment whether there has been an improvement in talks? And my second part question is the Yeke Koluba expulsion, which is tied to the similar thing. There are accusations that you headed the money for his removal and all of those things. I know you smile. But my question is, do you think the legislature acted independently? Was the punishment proportional? And whether or not that sets a precedent as well? Thank you.
So on the Yeke stuff, what I would say is, I left the House of Representatives in 2020. If I was there, I would tell you how I voted, and why I voted, and why we took certain decisions. Unfortunately, I'm not there. I don't want to meddle in that issue. So the best person to talk to is the speaker members, let them deal with that issue. I'm in a different branch of government. Ain't no looking at impeachment too. So I try to be careful. That ain't handle the issue. Now, hold up. I got update every day. Look, I hear people say, yeah, to give it got a huge military, this and that, blah, 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 can't make it. There are fighting forces here inside. I can call some 2-3 persons can cross in the morning and capture one whole city in some country. They are here. They're happy here. We know. What? How did it happen? It destroyed us more. When gunfire at our border, it will be happening way in Lofa, or we'll start juking one another. the war will be more here among ourselves than what happened in the world. And so, soft diplomacy is the way out. Look, you are here during the Judy Bryant time, 2% making confusion, and the guy was going to money, they were like Christian Muslim war. Some of you remember.
The geographical area there.
Imagine gunfire at the border. And some people here that get ready and go to some of our friends who from Guinea here, But I Guinea people here. And our people on our side too, they start killing them. You know what you're talking about. Even in Monrovia, look, international community to tell us to stop to the border, but the war will still be fighting. And if you were here during the war, you don't want to hear the war. Look, it's better to wake up in the morning and eat cassava peace than to see war. It's not a joking thing. I was a child when the war was fighting. I used to be selling James John brand on the front line. And I fire go for the CP. When the men are fighting to ELBC Junction, then maybe somewhere, Tubu Road Junction, then here at the CP, I hear the army men can get on the count of 14. I hear they can rest together at James, their John, their brand. I was picking, I get my cigarette on my back, my cane to get on. They buying from me. They come firing over there. Yeah, but I'm firing gone before. And so we know what went on in this country. So soft diplomacy is the way. And we are achieving. Look,
that's why I wanted to ask. Are we still engaging?
We are still engaging. And it's working.
The president is
So
still
you see,
the president is still here, Mr. Pastor.
Look, you see Iran and the US, the ceasefire, but you know the politics playing out. Everybody trying to appease their people on the ground. So when Trump speaks, he said we are winning the war. Iran is on the wall. They will succumb. Is to stir the base in America that we are in charge. When the people in Iran talk, they say we got no conversation with America. We're not going to go to no table. It's to stir their base, their politics. Everybody playing their part. So the man was going in the morning, he bring all the heavy weapons to the border. The big con everything. You saw the kind of truth that came to the border. Then diplomacy, my man, we're not fighting. They think you are one man. They piece of man, let's talk about it, my man. You are saying that word, I can't get kind of. The president went to Guinea. He being the elder in the region. Looking at where we come from, trying to build our country. We cannot go into war. So discussions are going on. The first thing, the man pulled all the people from the border. All the heavy weapons all gone back. School and teen children are running from the villages, gone back. I'm told the men can carry in the day, in the night, they go sleep in Guinea. Small. Maybe they'll go sleep one day, they will not come back. We're not going to fight. We'll deal with this thing. We're talking to ECOWAS, we're talking to AU, we're talking to people in the Security Council, Guinea, our neighbors. Look, almost all the tribes in Liberia in Guinea. If you went to Bon County, there's a huge amount of people across. If you went to Nima, there's a huge amount of people. These people are family. You'll be surprised that when one elder died in Liberia, the Guinean cross and come to Nima to bury them. When an elder died in Guinea, they are the same people, the white people only came and say, you know what? They water a boundary. So if your brother were across the river, he remained a Guinean. If you are on this side, you remain a Liberia, but that link is still there. People still know their family are across the border. And Lofa, there's a whole place called Kisidu in Guinea. Huge population. I think the people that's the bigger Kisi settlement around here. The people in Liberia are smaller. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to be corrected. Same people, they cross the border, Sierra Leone. And so we are one people. The man talking in Conakry, he know these people are related. We can't fight one another here. Those people come for rice, they come for oil, they come for everything in Liberia. Just the border, we say we close. Every day they go passing, our people, our women, they get cross all night. They go sell in Guinea. So we are one people. We'll keep it like this. Those who think we're supposed to fight, will not fight because some of them don't understand.
In the meantime,
they don't know the implications.
Vice President, as part of your soft diplomacy, I mean, what's their demand? Yeah, it is true that we're reaching out there, dragging them. There must be some conversation they are having.
This demand is not only with us. Look, I told you, at this point, some kind of politics. And then that was away when I scared to go like I run away like that. I want to be more you're making like over there. Do you know that the flare on the Ivorian side, you know what I mean? Around Shaw area in Cote d'Ivoire. Guinea said that land, Guinea said that let that flare in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone was a whole island is taking. Sierra Leone has gone to, I think, arbitration or so. They're going to court. Because we cannot fight in this region. We are one. And so we're having discussion. I told you, it started with all the heavy weapon fire. People run away from school and things. Heavy weapon going back. Children going back to school. The men that used to sleep, they went back to sleep now. Small, we'll get there. They will
Okay, Mr. Vice President. Emmanuel will take to the lands, but before we do that, I'll read a text message I just got, and then probably it could trickle a response from you. Somebody sent me this. It says, "How are you, my brother? I have some very serious concerns. The Burkinabes are taking over in Grand Guinea, my brother. They demand you to buy from them in the Ivorian currency. They do not hold US or Liberian currency. They are becoming more powerful than the people of Guinea. They are making farms in Liberia and taking the products to the Ivory Coast for sale. There are serious intermarriage going on between they and the people of Grand Guinea. They have purchased 45% of the land in Grand Guinea at present as I send this text. They determine which currency to sell or trade their goods in. These are things that created the problem for us in Lofa County at the moment." Then he goes on to say in Nimba, for example, all the ferry over the St. John River at the local crossing points in Nima County and Guinea are owned by Guineans. If you are crossing from Liberia into Guinea, you pay crossing fees to the Guinean. And when you are leaving Guinea to Liberia, you again pay the same money to the Guinean, thereby putting the Guinean under the pretense that they own that side of the river or the land. This is serious. Mr. Vice President, Burkina Faso in Grand Guinea.
So the last one, and maybe that look like that won't happen. Maybe I need to check me now whether they are because I spent years in that river. I have my own round that river to cross people on St. John in midnight. So for the round, I was for us on like 18 years ago. So I was super cool.
Yes.
You know, we went to Lake Mbura, we went to Swami, we went to there are a lot of people who doing overnight crossing and things. Sometimes we say our own route. The route I call a call we tie together. And, you know, that time we used to be crossing our small things that can't do anything overnight. You cross it, you can't ride it hard, you come in overnight, you take it. So I don't know about it happening. But I heard it been happening in Lofa for a very long time. At the round, they cross the Guinea, you pay on the Guinea, on the Liberian, you pay for to cross it, and you know, both ways. And so I'm told, even the Liberian side, they didn't say charging you to, so when you pay to Guinea, you pay to Liberia. I don't know much detail about the Lofa side, but the Nema side, I grew up there, I played on our water, and so I know what it is there. Unless they have changed in the now. When our representatives and senators, the issue of Burkina Faso is in the serious problem. And we try to investigate. And one of the things we saw there is look, some of our own people are causing some of the problems. And we have to hit the news square. When you do that, you don't get friends to speak. So Clarence has a family. Clarence go to Cote d'Ivoire and bring the Burkina Faso man. And said, "No, I want you to do for me 100 acre of cocoa farm." The man said, "You'll pay me 10,000. I'll grow your cocoa for." I get 20 months. I'll grow your cocoa for 3 years. I will brush. In 6 months, you'll feed me. But after 6 months, you will not feed me anymore for 3 years. Because when I'm brushing, I'll plant my yam, I'll plant my cassava and things to feed myself. I will do the complete farm for you, and once you reach 3 years after harvest, you take your cocoa and come back, and I'll feed you 10,000. Client said, "No, I'll get 10,000. The man said, "Okay, I'll plant the 100 acres, but you give me 40 until 60. Client said, "Yeah, no problem, go ahead." So the man do all the work, he put all the investment and everything. But remember, I'm not a lawyer, but on our law, I don't think when you are a foreign person, you get bad land. But that one is a whole new discussion. Lawyers got to look at it. Or no Liberian got right to get gate land to the foreign person like that. I know there should be law. I don't have the details, but lawyers will speak to that. Now, the guy grow the cocoa. The cocoa reach 3 years. The first harvest, the man harvest is 40 acres. You harvest your 60 acres. The man 40 acres gain 30,000 now. They get no man 10,000 who don't own for it. The guy didn't know my man due for you. That's what the problem we're facing. So the article thing I told you about that we intend to do will register everybody in the country. You foreigner, you non-Liberian, meaning our Burkinabe friends, Ghanaians, Nigerians, and whatsoever, will register everybody. During the registration in the town team will be there, other people will be there. They may not Burkinabe, we put your name there. They may not be. We'll sort them up, we know the number, we know where we're living, and we start to engage them. If you want to live in Liberia, there are laws in the family. If them men are supposed to give you land, and the men that give you land, and on our law you're not supposed to get land, it's a whole discussion. I got that small part, but it's a serious issue that we need to address as a government. And the first way to do it is not just taking these numbers that people get throwing, is to go there, count these people. And to count them is to register them, get them. Look, when you leave from here to Ghana today, you get down in Ghana and you want to open an account, you want to get a SIM card, and then you use your passport for but they will have to give you a non-Ghanaian card. That card is about $150. You pay for it. With that card, you can do anything in Ghana, but it is in your system that you are a non-Ghanaian, or you are a West African dollar. And those are things we try to deploy here.
Okay.
So those systems, when those systems comes into play, most of these things will be addressed.
Great.
Okay.
Most of these things will be addressed. I know sometimes it's difficult to appear on many of these public platforms. So quickly, I know we'll take calls, and the DG has informed me that whatever time you want to be here, Elbc is yours for today, just on the phone side. But the issue of youth employment and empowerment, you've spoken about this passionately. What is the government doing to address the issue of youth employment, which is one of the key factors in the country right now?
So I just laid to me a lot of things there. And some of the youth employment program we do in school to put money in people back is small. They're not sustainable. What we do 6 months, put small money. The man will clean the beach and water away, put small money in. It's not sustainable. We will keep doing them small. That is keeping people in the RC. You know what RC is in the hospital? When you go to GFK, they can play home the accident, who on critically.
Emergency.
They are asking you like intensive care, so you got oxygen to your blood. You're not dying, but you're not living good. So some of these things are in ICU. We got to go to the structural problem. Like I said, if you take care of electricity, any young person can choose their go to that village and raise goat. I carried two days nanny goat, and only one baby goat. And see, I went to the bush for 5 years. I went playing coffee or cocoa or rubber. I kept my 2 days nanny goat and one baby goat. In 5 years time, I can get more than 100 goats or 200 goats. And just call somebody and say, look, Devin, we were doing a push-up and the guy phone home because you can pay for electricity, you get full. You just bring a drum and find 100 goats or 200 goats. With 100, 200 goats, that first cat get in my hair, I get 10, 20,000 now. When you know what to do in Liberia, you cook. In Liberia, I only need 10,000 now. I don't owe nobody has money. 10,000. I cooked. I'll come back any day. That's all I need. And so, as we will do small window dressing with most of the things happening that is not sustainable, we got to go to the foundational issue. Like Let us say that roads. We're trying with roads. We're trying to connect the countries with school roads. We try. The whole rainy season, under this president, no car got stuck on any major highway. Unless you leave the major highway, make a small road, which the yellow machine are coming to address. But the next thing is to address the legislative thing, and the president is very serious about, and discussions are going on. People are doing studies, and once we get that done, the country is better. All these things will be taken care of.
Mr. Vice President, maybe my last question, then we go to the line.
Yeah.
This is political. You seem to be very happy in your position as the Vice President. You don't look like a car park. I mean, we see you in the news all the time. That shows the relationship and trust between your boss and you. We are looking up to 2029. Conversation out there is that and we are the everyday guys in the marketplace, on the radio, and there is this conversation about possibly, being the hand picked by your boss, Mr. Barker, the president, to succeed him. Sometimes when you sit with your boss and then you can have a conversation, can you tell us what are the whispers in your ear? What does he say? What's the latest conversation about his intention to contest for 2029 or not to contest? Where are we with that?
So what I can say to you simply is, I will know every president elected and got the right to go for 2 terms. 12 years. If President Bola was here 12 years, you asked me why he changed the constitution to go for 3rd term, then I can answer that question. As it stands, it is his right under our law to do it 2 terms. The president has my full support any day, anytime, any decision he takes. That would be my answer to the first part of the question. Second part of the question.
Packer.
A packer. Every vice president is a packer. The laws are clear. The power of the executive is inherent in the president. They say the president is vice president. Now why you deputy president? You vice president. The law also says the vice president will assist the president. Since you have been enough family manager, and I'm sometimes Fagon can be saying in the player. And today I'm 16 Fagon. And I ain't out there to assist you.
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
When you finish, it's terrible. Maybe the next time it's going to be another 2 years. So the vice president is a park car. The president uses that car at will. If the president of the car will go to Dwala and go pick up 2 gallons of red oil. The car run there and come and get the oil pump. Until the president gets used for the car again, then it moves. So once I execute, I come back to base and report and pack. The president move. So that when the president hand gets filled with most of the things he's doing, he says, VP, look at this one, assist me on this one. Assist me on the one. Even at that, it's for me to report to him and not to the public. And so a vice president is a packer. And a vice president who would think that you share the president with the power, they are in trouble and there will be chaos between the people. And so going forward, as the Constitution is, every vice president in the future know that you are to assist. Assisting, the person must request it. And that's why the vice president is the only person that go to session and go to cabinet. Because the president not ready for a Senate, go sit down on the Senate and keep presiding without a vote. You don't have much say. You want the people to take a vote, the team power, whether you like it or not. I mean, you got to sign. Since I went there hasn't been a time for me to take a vote. So I'm back. When the president said move, I move. The distance give me a trouble, I come back, I back and wait. But I have a very good relationship with him. A father-son relationship. When I'm talking to the president, I don't feel president, I feel my father. And as soon as me the president in the forum, and he blasted at me openly. No matter if I blast at me that problem, can I issue we African children. The elder will remain the elder. And Jojo, the commercial Jojo, myself born the same year. Both of them 10 for the 8 year. I've never read a Jojo in at least 3 months. So this man is my father. So we do that father something. I see him on. I got on. Him that accepted God. The way I think, I say, hey, the prayer no better than me. If I tell you, you tell me, hey, why you the president? You know better. And that's why they are working very well.
Great. I mean, great conversation here. This broadcast is relayed on several stations around the country. Of course, it's time now you interact with your vice president. We've been here since 8 o'clock this morning and talking the issues that confront Liberians and the state. Too many people have started calling, we've now announced the numbers.
And
Yeah.
Ollie, let's emphasize that we are relaying and people should not call our private numbers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
People have attempted already.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure. So we are really, several stations: OKFM, Prime FM, Cool FM, Classic FM, Kakata Radio, Magibi Radio, Dubai, Ambassa, Smart FM in Zoju, Radio Banga in Bon County, Super Bonkies Radio, Radio Putuma, Voice of Lofa, Voice of Nimba, RBS in Riverside, Peace FM in Lower Magibi Radio G, Voice of Plebo, Voice of Tube, City FM, Voice of Hopeless FM.
So guys, we can end 10:30, man.
Yeah.
We can end
Yes,
10:30.
so let's hear in Bushman Radio as well. 080514096, 080514096. A very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being there.
So my name is London Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're live.
So my name is London I work for the Branch of the Capital. So I listened to the Vice President. The Vice President spoke of so many national concerns. But the Vice President is somebody who is responsible for people who live with disability. And he has not mentioned anything about the disabled community. And I think this Vice President and every other Vice President should take you in disabled issues.
Okay, PWD. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Good morning. Okay, this person. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
You're giving us feedback, Danny.
I'm sorry.
No, I think I'll
Yeah,
have to
Van,
let
you
you
have to
go.
do that quickly.
Yes,
No
please
time.
go ahead. This international call from France. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Fred Gerson and I call from Paris.
Yes, sir. From Paris, please go.
Good morning, Honorable Vice President. For the record, I gotta believe that you are one of the most corrupt politicians in front of Liberia. Now,
No, we will not take that. It's we have to be very careful what we say to national leaders. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you, sir? My name is Shay Mohammed Cohen. I call you from Hong Kong to be exact, District 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me appreciate my Vice President this morning. A long time I've never heard you speaking like the way you spoke this morning. I appreciate you for all what you're doing. Well, I have a series of concerns, sir.
No, let me get one, please.
The negotiation about the concession agreement. I heard from the Elbc radio that Boto Kane, who is a senator, is filing at how the concession is done in your county. That it was not done properly. So what can you make of that?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for being there.
Good morning. This is George Mowa, Joy from District 6 in Mosa County. I just want to say good morning to our Vice President, Vice President Jeremiah Koung. Thank you so much. You spoke about a lot of things. I know that you'll be this country. I have a question for you. I thank you, our Vice President. That's really the proper well. Because I don't know coming. For them, for you, at least you have to progress. That's what I want to know. When I don't know coming, the next president will vote for the country, and that's going to be better.
Thank you.
so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Let me take calls from the other line. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Diwa. I want to tell my Vice President, thank you. Everything he said, I was listening to it. I'm begging them that I help the president to carry our country up.
Okay.
Because if some of us, we want the country to go anyway.
Thank you.
Our country.
Mm.
Canada will always tell you my country is the best. And if you say your country is the best, nobody will say it. So I want to tell the Vice President, thank you, let me help the paper. All those are working within the government. Let them help the paper.
Thank you, my Oma. Thank you so very much for your input. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Teddy Ross, and I'm called from Central Virginia. And let me say thanks to the our first president, that we are proud of the honor voted for him. My intention has to do with the global industry, Firestone to the ceiling. Mr. First President, we pray that you look at the raw industry. We from the business that do raw business, we are really getting business. The business out there that conducive. Firestone, bar at their will, and they even to sell the Firestone, there are a lot of constraints. Both the sides, as for Grand Bassa County, the pollution of the water nowadays is affecting our people in Orange Grove and other areas. The air pollution as well, Mr. Vice President. We pray that you look in that direction.
Thank you so very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, President. Good morning to the President. I mean, this is our general bank of Mama. I believe for looking at the intellectual bureau. Yeah, Mr. Vice President, he wanted to call us Shelly. He talked all the truth for why anything you don't want, but we need to see people. So, Vice President, studying on the street up to now, because anything for our commission, no problem. Now, this happening, we saw living this agenda, trying to take shoes to straight from the street to the school. So, what we're going to do is we need to see people on the street. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take two more calls and get it done. 2 minutes in front of everybody. Good morning. Okay. Thank you. This should be our last caller. Please, thanks for joining. Yes, sir. Go ahead, please. You live.
Yes, I'm going to say thank you to the Vice President. Let me say thank you to the Vice President.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Vice President, I sat down, came here, I analyzed all what you said. But you talk about this market. In economics, we have two types of markets. We have perfect and imperfect markets. The goods that are coming in Liberia, they are all from the imperfect market. They're sending all the meat and chicken and things for us to eat. Our we're getting sick. Every day we're getting sick. Right now, the place I am, I'm sick. I'm having diabetes, I'm having fever, and all the rest of it, my children and all. So I need help from you, Mr. Vice President.
Okay.
My number is 086-838704. I need you. Don't send me something so that I go to hospital. I beg you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we need to let him call the number?
Yeah, you let him
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, let him call the
You
number.
still there?
Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, take your time and call the
Yeah,
number.
call the number, yeah.
0886
Mm-hmm.
838-704.
And your name? Ask whether his name
What's
is
the
on
name?
that
Your
number.
name again?
Francis Sabayo.
Oh,
Okay, Francis Bayo.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I think we have to hold the calls there. And Mr. Vice President, you listen to the people and you can just take a few minutes to address some of the concerns raised.
So I think one of the person forward the stable party. I mean, I'm forget about it. I mean, I've been a question because I've been going to about it. But my office is responsible for group of 77. And must have been responsible for everybody in the country. Because of the selling is a bit different from the National Commission on Disability. If I'm not mistaken, because my wife runs it. She's the executive director by law. The vice president's wife takes over. The vice president is a woman. Your husband take over. Both vice president, whether male or woman. If you don't have a spouse, then you appoint somebody to take over. So my wife runs it. As we speak, my wife is doing for the group of 77 people a new home. When we go to South Beach, right opposite South Beach, The whole community you see the same around there. That people living with disability. However, it's even training. Right now, there's a program going on called Empower Hall, training people living with disability, especially women, how to teaching them. And she's trying to find a package now to get each of them. So when they graduate, well, a sewing machine, she give you small money. There are different discussions going on. She had a meeting the last time with petrol trade that all your gas stations, can you please allow people living with disability to get cooler? We sit at the place there to get water, salt, drinking. And you'll be shocked. I mean, she called them, and most of them told her, I'm my way what I want. On go out every day, they're going to get. In order to
be stationed.
To be stationed one place and be saying cold water. And so we got problem with social welfare, people living with disability. Disability is not just somebody having a correct for court. There are people living with epilepsy. There are people living with different sickness. The last time I was being briefed by this entity in my office, they call it the Son Secretariat. It's skilling or nutrition. It's almost all the vice president office around here because they try to give it a political face. I'm told there are 12% of the children in the country that are stunted. Meaning there's nothing you can do with it. So when the mom gets pregnant, she's supposed to be eating food that gives the child good health in the stomach. So maybe to get irregular or he can out beef with oil. And that child starts to get small in the stomach. When that child born, if the woman born, the baby is small. That child is stunted because the child don't have the right mineral and the right vitamin. Between there to 2 years, you can redeem that child. If you can get food to the children, that's why I said it time the UNFPA was divine, throwing a peanut butter until you can give the children. It cut off now. Between that time the child was born to 2 years, if you don't revive that child, because the brain is supposed to grow and everything small. If you don't revive that child, right after 2 years, that child can never recover. I'm told there are 12% of the children in this country. They briefed me the last time. I told them this briefing needs to be given to the legislature. So I have a conversation with the pro tem and the speaker so that they come in session and explain to them. So we know this issue. And then instead of waiting for UNFPA, we can find some money, put in the budget, get some of the Liberian people packaging. We doing some cocoa packaging in Liberia now. If you put small money in the budget, $1, $2, $3 million, and people facing peanut butter, they buy the peanut, they grind it, put some benecine and all these things that get these children some of the mineral, we can save our children. And most instead of importing it, paying shipping costs and everything, people will start to grow peanuts and benecine and things because there will be a demand for the market. So that conversation I was briefed just 3 days ago. We are having a major stakeholder on the international partners. I told them to hold up because I wanted them to brief both plenary of the legislature, the Senate and the House, so that people see pictures coming from their county, children from their county that are stunted, that can never be recovered. So, my man, if we're not asking, oh, but I know you're my man, and I'm not borrow you can talk. But we need to find a program that takes care of you, and that all of you we're talking about, whether the people who correct, the people who get problem, that everybody be able to talk here.
What's still not discovered? What's the status of the facility ban that was launched sometimes last year in Broadville, Quaker to be exact?
Also, this year, I think there is 600,000 in the budget to start the project. They haven't processed that money yet. When it gets processed, the construction work will start. Securing homes. When the homes get through, we intend to take the people for around sub-beach. On the beach there, sometimes we go there and change all the zinc because the zinc leaking on them. We change. The group of 77 people are positioned. If I'm not mistaken, group of 77 either are people born with disability also. I will check it out. But there's group of 77 and the National Commission on Disability that somebody is appointed to that deal with disability issues. The only group under my office is the group of 77 that my office There's a chapter under my office that take care of it. So if you see my budget, it's into two phases. You got a group of 77 office under my budget, and you got my own office. So when they see us, and I say, oh, my budget be that two different entities budget under there. Right now, we got the scaling of nutrition at two, either under of two or so. And so there are some smaller entities under there.
Great, Mr. Vice President. Just before we leave with this morning, I want to ask you about this issue of land demolition all over the country. How concerning?
So the president is not happy about it. The president has expressed some concern. And most of these things are happening from judges in the court. I don't know whether it's true that some judges are playing games, taking money from people. If that is true, then that is need to start to impeach some judges. Land will be a serious point of conflict in this country. And we have to look at the laws. Look, somebody say they own Kiale community, assume. You've been living over for 50 years. You say you own the land, you haven't been paying taxes on it, nothing, zero. You just come one day and bring one big paper and say that you get a whole community, and thousands of people should live in the courtroom. If you don't follow the court order again, they say, oh, the government not respect rule of law and this and that. And so we need to look at the language. The legislature, I'm sure, House and Senate are talking about it. We got to look at it and see what we do about it. To the extent I would say, if you got a land and you're not paying taxes on it, I said it plan. Government said it. You got a land, you got to clean it. We got to take some decision to avoid most of these things happening. The president is very concerned about it. There are discussions going on, and there will be some actions taken.
Okay, Mr. Vice President, we gotta go. We just wanted to get your parting comments. We've been here beyond 2 solid hours and a half. What's the final message to the country?
So I want to thank the president first for allowing me to sit in this space today. Well, before I go to the video, I got to get clearance. Unless, yes, I can't just have this kind of discussion unless I get clearance from the president. I mean, if I'm working in a program also, speaking somewhere, and maybe somebody, I'm true, I can talk 1 or 2 things, but to have a sit in like this, I must clear with the president. And so I clear with the president, I was going to talk about some of the action we intend to take in the market. Look, most of our business people, one of my friends called me the last time and said, my man, no business, closing the store, find it anywhere, you find it out. There is somebody that runs his own business wants to close it, only because he comes to buy from people here. They see people in the factory, they put the goods in the truck and follow them in the market and pack the truck right by them and sell it. So how will the mail sell? And so these are all the things we intend to start. When you put a chain where the people who are producing got distributor, the distributor, that people who they supply, they will create a lot of job. People in the diaspora who want to come home, thinking on what to do. Because are these things open? Some of the argument will be, who did I bring the money to put for the guarantee? Those of you in country, will start shopping yourself. And you all in Liberia, whether you in anywhere in the world, like Liberia, start getting people so that we create the condition, come in and take money. So that we don't create it, if there's no way to move, then the people say, oh, to your people not able to think. Look, even you have 2, 3, some of the problems that in the country, we don't partner. Each are on the table, maybe got $1 million each. We know that when you build a hotel here, maybe 200 rooms, in 5 years, we will get our money back. With tourism working and other things working, people will come in. The building cost 10 million, we have 10 each other 1 million. Not all can do it, but all can do it. But we're not willing to work together. So most of our foreign friends will come together and do it, then they own it. In 5, 6 years down the line, everybody get our money on it, the building stand there and a profit. We need to start working together. If we want to get something done, and you get 10%, each other got 10%, when we pull it together and do the right documentation, they want another day, my man, we get working together. No. we get lawyers, they have the right documentation, we can gradually take over this economy and do well as we compete with our foreign friends. We're not against them, we're not going after them, but we're going by the law. This law was passed in 2010. I was not in the legislature by then, but we are here and we're enforcing. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you,
all
Mr.
the
Vice
time we've got to be here today on the Super Morning Show. Many thanks to all of you for
So I will call that person who called.
Okay.
And there was a lucky caller. I was scared to put well, okay. Then I won't put it. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you listen to the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. We've been here, Clarence Jackson of KFN, Kelvin Jenny of Crown FM, Diamond from Spoon FM. My name is Emmanuel Santomo.